Is there going to be a change of tact with regards to an FA Cup team? Because it's always tended to be, the fringe players get a chance, a couple of youth team players, and us not doing particularly well.
No, I think obviously we.
You look back to 2005 when we got to Wembley, and I think we'll probably our best season.
Yes, no, I think whatever. I think there is sometimes we look at the team, and if you make 6 changes or 7 changes, it means that we don't care about the game, and that's so wrong. And nowadays, the cup games are so important that galvanizes the squad in a way. I feel that we got a squad good enough to make changes and been able to win games. What I'll tell you is that we'll take the FA Cup as serious as we can. That doesn't mean that we're not going to use the squad. That would be really foolish from our point of view, because if you got someone like Callum McManaman, that it could be someone that it really would be someone having a big role in the first team. We have to give him playing time, and we have to use him. And the experience that he had over the last season made him the player that he is now, and we need to carry on encouraging that.
So assuming you told Blackpool they can't use him?
No. Callum comes back on the first week of January. Obviously, we play on the 7th of January, if I'm not wrong, on the third round, and he'll be involved 100% if we don't call him earlier. And with him, his other players that we've been working, as we were talking about, players getting the intensity needed to play games like that, perfect to assess them and see if they are ready. To get a player ready through that competition, it means a lot more than making a change or not. But obviously we want to win every game we're going to play in the FA Cup. That's clear. And I think we got enough numbers in the squad to have strong teams in any competition we're playing into. So I wouldn't say...
But making mass changes in any team is going to be hard, isn't it? Because they're not used to playing with each other.
Well, no. The way we train, that's going back to the training methods. We work in a way that everyone knows.
Match.
Yeah, well, last year we played against Hull, and we had a... Sorry?
The man blind.
Yes, we had a fantastic performance, and you need that sort of performance. I think making changes of players that they haven't been working together, it's true, it's going to take time, but when the players have been working together and they are desperate to show what they can do, is probably is a need. Because when you play under the pressure that we are playing under now of having to get a result, a player that he plays in the league and then he goes into the FA Cup, it's only normal that you're going to relax a little bit, and you cannot afford to go into any game being relaxed. I'd rather have someone that he hasn't got probably the relationship with another player, but he's got the real desire and the real feel of opportunity playing a game, rather than saying, oh, we can relax a little bit more today. It's not a league, it's the FA Cup, and that will be something that we're not going to get anything out of it. But going back to your question, using the whole squad is a must, and we have to do that because we're going to be as good as our squad going into the league. And games like the FA Cup, we need them, but we want to win the third round, whoever we're playing against.
Paul Gill used to make 8-9 changes that year when we got to the final. Remember that? Yeah. First 4 or 5, three or 4 games. That was completely changed.
Every season is different, but when you are really successful in the league and you've got a real intensity with your players, going into the FA Cup and expect the same level is not human, it's impossible. So it would be a mistake to use the same players for another competition, because they'll drop their level of performance, and it's only human. If you've got a good group of players playing well and you bring the rest of the squad, they'll want to match that performance and fight for that position, and all of a sudden you got a very, very good level of performance everywhere, and that's more important than having players that play together long enough to perform.
Okay. It's almost back to basics, really. A lot of fans stereotype the way we play as 4-5-1. You know, and just use those number system. One man's 4-5-1, another man's 4-3-3 or 4 whatever. How would you describe your preferred style of play?
Well, it's a great question. I always obviously I could speak about football all day, and I think the formations is something that we get so wrong. Just formation is just the line up. It's how you get the team out. It's how you play on the pitch. That in relation of the ball, I never seen a team that plays 4-3-3 or 4-5-1. In relation of the ball, the movement of the players is what it counts. To answer your question directly, what's the difference between a 4-3-3 and a 4-5-1 is the nature of the players. If you got a Victor Moses and Hugo Rodallega and Franco Di Santo playing up front, it can never be a 4-5-1. If you're going a James McCarthy, or Tom Cleverley playing in the wide positions, that will give you a 4-1-4-1 if you want. I think the profile of the player, the nature of the player, gives you a formation or another. Because there's attacking players, more defensive-minded players. If you play with Ronnie Stam, which is a real attacking player, it's more a back three than a back four. Those are the unique differences between one formation and another, and that's the unique differences of a team that plays the same formation than another, having a completely different way to play. Chelsea plays 4-3-3. When they play with Sturridge or Mata, is a completely different. And when they play Anelka and Kakula, it's completely different. And the formation, you would say, well, it's 4-3-3. But then if we play with Ivanovic as a right back or Bosingwa, it's completely different. And it goes down to having a good group of players that they understand each other, that they're good enough when they lose the ball, that they're good enough to attack. And what we got now is a group of players that physically we were one of the strongest teams in the Premier League in the last 12 games of the season. Remember that the competition is so long. You're talking about 10-month competition. The majority of the teams, they start really, really well, and then the training method comes into terms in January, February, and only the ones that they train with intensity got strong finishes of the season. The way we are and the way we work, we always finish very, very strong physically because we train with that intensity. And we got a group, an age group that we can do it on the pitch. And that's very, very important. And that's something that we need to keep in mind, that our team will always have a strong finish of the season. Then formations in relation of the ball, the partnerships up front, as you saw on Wolves, we played a little bit different with a lopsided with Victor Moses and Franco and Hugo interchanging positions, so it gives them a real problem to Wolves in the first half. The way we press high up, we got the ball back so many times. We had a couple of times 2v2 situations that, with the quality of Franco and Hugo and Victor, normally that should finish with goals. The combinations we got in the squad now are huge. You look at the midfield area, we're very, very strong. You got players like James McCarthy that once he'll get this moment of form, he's a phenomenal footballer, and at the moment he's not playing. You got the strength that we got in this squad is very, very, very good, and that's what we need to be positive enough to allow these players to enjoy their football, because this squad is something that we're gonna enjoy over the next few months once we get that positive result. But formations is the time that we can variate and play in many different ways, because of the type of players that we got in the squad. Connor Salmon comes on Saturday and Sunday, and straight away he had a big impact, and we've got those opportunities all over the squad.
Imagine the day graphics have a lot to answer for.
That's it. But don't be guided by television, because I'm amazed that we never saw a replay of Hugo Rodallega's goal.
No.
And that was onside. So I don't know what we have to do.
That was the header in the first half. I don't know whether you remember it, whether it was shown on TV.
Can you remember that?
No, I was on mine, so I didn't see the replay.
It was just before his chance, one-on-one. There was a long ball through, and he actually.
No, I don't think it was.
Yeah.
Maino Figueroa played Hugo,
That's right,
and he just headed it in goal. Hennessy
That's
comes
right,
out halfway. There's nothing he can do. It's a goal. We get the pro zone, so the pro zone he can go down to the lines. The lines is 1.5 meters onside. 1.5 meters, which is not because of the centre half, it's the fullback. And that was never another play.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a different subject.
We spoke about Calvin Bannerman and Roman, Vanessa. How far do you think Lee Nichols is away from pristine action?
Well, he's another one that he needs to go out on loan and play festive football. Potentially, Lee Nichols is one of the brightest prospects in British football. Believe me, he's got absolutely everything to be a top goalkeeper. Now it's down to him, really. Probably he's been a little bit all too quick and all too easy for Lee. And now he's found himself in a Premier League group, playing a very good standard in reserves. Now is the time for him to go and probably play first team football. But I've got huge belief. He's only 19. His distribution is improved massively in the last few months. He's a great talker, organizer, good in the air, and I think we've got a real talented goalkeeper. But I would love to see him now playing some first team football. I mean, if the right opportunity comes.
What level would you say?
Any level.
Any level.
Sometimes we get into he needs to play Championship or League 1, League 2. It doesn't matter. The level for a goalkeeper is not important. What's important is that he plays football. We had a couple of bad experiences. He went out on loan to Sheffield Wednesday. He never played. He went to Shrewsbury as well. They had him as a cover. It's not about the level. It's about him being in front of goal and having the responsibility of playing well and working well to have a clean sheet. And that's what we need to put him on then. That is scenario. But potentially, Lee Nichols is one of the top young goalkeepers in Britain.
Yeah, he's the last 2 home development games now.
Yes.
He looks good.
He needs the next step. I think he doesn't get stimulated enough with the games now in the development squad.